Some counsel of the public.
I know it's late, but I just want to say thank you again. It's been a really great process, and this is something I'm very happy we got finished.
No comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, motion to advertise passes. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have Resolution 2025-23 authorizing purchase of property located at 64 West 4th Street, Bridgeport for $725,000. Do we have a motion?
I will make the motion to authorize purchase.
I will second that motion.
Motion from Mr. Heil, second from Ms. Hauk. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Next up for council consideration, we have authorization to release accrued employee pension contributions to former borough employee Justin Broski at $9,883.45. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Shank, second from Ms. Nolan. Do we have any questions or comments from council or the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Last up here, we have presentation for capital projects request 2026 budget. Mr. Truman?
All right, good evening, everybody. As is customary at our first October meeting, we embark upon the 2026 budget development process. And as is customary, we begin with capital project or capital funding requests for the 2026 budget. I will try to be as succinct as possible given the hour. But I am cognitively incapable of honoring that commitment.
There's no way. There's just no way.
Starting off with the fire department, the Bridgeport Fire Department has, I would say prudently, informed administration that until a final decision is provided from our DCED departmental study, that it is going to abstain from any capital funding requests. So the 2026 fire department capital requests from the fire department, not applicable, $0.
Keith, does that mean that we should just assume some money in case things happen, that they need it next year, or we're just going to go with zero?
Vice President Heil, if there's ever, if our experiences have taught us anything, is that if there's ever an emergency purchase or we find ourselves in dire straits, we're able to stop on a dime and make those necessary purchases, corrections, changes, what have you. So I would not interpret this as leaving the fire department out to dry. Yeah. No. That's my words, not yours. Next up for capital funding of parks projects. Number one, we have the Memorial Park improvements. The price tag for that project is estimated at about $650,000, and we are still awaiting a final decision on the local share account grant application that we submitted last fall, which would cover $543,000 of that $650,000. We are hopeful that by, I believe, November 18th, we will finally have a determination on that. Secondly, we have the Front Street Pocket Park project, earmarked or estimated to be about $1 million in cost. And this project is fully funded by both Community Development Block Grant and Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief grant applications. So, in fact, we actually have $1,017,000 in grant funding for this project. But for nice round numbers' sake, I pared it down to $1 million. And then finally, the design work for the rail trail project, the Bridgeport Spur Trail, Loop Trail, Rail Trail, we'll decide on the nomenclature eventually, would be $100,000 estimated. And so for 2026, the total parks capital projects requests are coming in at $1,650,000. And I would just remind folks that anywhere from $1 million to $1.543 million of that ask is going to be covered by grants. If there are any questions, please jump in at any time. Next, for the sewer plant, there is one large capital project that is on deck for 2026, and frankly, that is only because we are experiencing ongoing delays that have, in all likelihood, kept us from completing this project and subsequently paying for this project in calendar year 2025, and that is the repair of primary trickling filter number 1, which was damaged some years back by a sinkhole. The estimated cost for this project is $750,000. However, again, we have insurance covering $528,000 and change of this expense. So the total sewer department capital requests for 2026 are coming in at $750,000. And this is not to say that there aren't some other large projects and repairs, relatively speaking, that need to be done or will be done at the sewer plant. In fact, we plan on putting in a new roof and roof vents at one of our pump stations. We plan on replacing several windows throughout the sewer plant campus, and some other semi-larger in the vicinity of $10,000 to $20,000 projects. However, I'm confident that we are able to complete those within the sewer fund operating expenses for next year. So I didn't want to saddle or anchor the capital funds with those expenses. So it's not like this is the only big project we're doing at the sewer plant, but some of them are relatively smaller, and we're going to be able to achieve them using operating budget monies. Moving on to public works, namely streets projects, we will accomplish the 2023 CDBG grant application, which is a sewer inlet and ADA ramp project, where we will be replacing somewhere in the vicinity of 11 storm sewer inlets and 24 ADA ramps. This project is estimated to cost about $300,000, and $200,000 of that has already been covered by awarded CDBG grants. And then we have, secondly, the 440 Mill Street project, which is, you can call it the lot behind Wawa, you can call it the former Camelot parking lot, and the rehabilitation or upgrade of that project is earmarked at $500,000 cost, and we are currently seeking grant funding for this project as well. So the total Public Works Streets capital requests for 2026 come in at $800,000, and $200,000 of that will be covered by grants at the very least. Moving on to community development capital project requests. Just like we did in the 2025 budget, I'm going to recommend to council that we include a placeholder figure of $1 million to account for potential future land acquisition and demolition. We have a number of different projects that or properties that we are looking at throughout the borough to, as Mr. Lubitz indicated during the zoning revision presentation, continue to acquire to not only provide for off-street municipal parking, but a variety of potential future amenities, whether that's parks, potentially new facilities, and I'm talking in the intermediate to long term for those, but it could be a number of different public amenities. And there's a note here, in our ongoing search to identify potential properties to acquire in order to redevelop into necessary public amenities, we are currently reviewing several. They vary in size, location, and cost. Depending on varying factors, these costs may exceed the $1 million noted above, and in that event, borrowing and assuming debt service would be the prescribed path forward. So for the community development capital requests for 2026. The recommended figure is $1 million, again, which mirrors 2025's budget numbers. And then moving forward to the police department, and I will make a note that for the first three items here, the radar traffic, the Evolus speed signs that come in at $6,850, the WatchGuard Motorola body-worn cameras that come in at $5,500, and the ballistic vests that come in at $4,200. These are carryover purchases or carryover capital funding requests that the police department made in the 2025 budget that are being just carried over or deferred to the 2026 capital funding requests. Additionally, the department is requesting radio microphones at a cost of $2,850 and a piece of software called Power DMS, which is an accreditation tracking software. I would defer to Chief Beretta to further elaborate or explain any of those details on any of those items. And then finally, a replacement vehicle for the police chief with an upfit, which would be coming in at an estimated $75,000. Furthermore, I will say that we are also looking at the replacement of a 2015 Ford Interceptor patrol vehicle. That was actually approved in the 2025 budget, and we have experienced a number of large ticket repairs on that Explorer, that old Interceptor this year. It has outlived its usefulness, and we are actually going to try to proceed with acquiring, or at least making the purchase order for a new patrol vehicle before the end of calendar year 2025. As I had noted, it was already authorized in the 2025 capital budget. So the total police department capital requests for 2026 come in at a clean $100,000. Moving forward, looking at, just to recap, parks requests are coming in at $1.65 million. Sewer department, $750,000. Police department, $100,000. Public Works streets projects, $800,000. And community development projects, $1 million. Bring us a potential total capital budget for 2026 of $4.3 million, and with notation that at least $1.728 million of that will be covered by grants or other alternate sources. And again, going back to community development, if ultimately we identify properties that are just simply too expensive that we cannot purchase outright with general fund surplus monies, or it wouldn't be prudent to exhaust that high a percentage or ratio of our fund balance, we would explore borrowing and taking on debt service for any one of those potential projects. And the $4.3 million actually would be far less than what we would actually experience in reality for that year. In terms of actions for tonight, there are no actions that council need to take this evening insofar as approving all of these capital requests. There will be several more meetings between now and in all likelihood the first December meeting, when we adopt the 2026 budget for input, questioning, and ultimately decision-making on these capital requests. However, if there are any questions on any one of these items this evening, I am willing to field them. So with that, I thank you, and, turn it back over to council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are there any questions from council or the public on the requests? All right, thank you. All right, we can move on to unfinished business. Are there any items of unfinished business anyone would like to discuss? All right, we can move on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports this evening? All right, we can move on to the chief's report. Chief, you're up.
Good evening, Bridgeport. We're projecting to have an EOC Basic Operations Center course at the Borough, November 12th from 6 to 9 p.m. For those people that participated with the EOC, it would be a total of 4-hour course, but we'd only keep it at two hours here, and the rest would be individual learning with Deputy EMC Al Condello. So we wanted to up our training for EOC. So any of the folks here that would like to participate or have participated, that's what we're looking forward to doing in November. Traffic advisory for the upcoming Halloween parade on the 18th. Please expect that between approximately 4:15 p.m. and 5:15 p.m. on the 18th, that we will have a shutdown of Mill Street on both sides of Mill Street coming and going. So if you're on a one-way street, that's going to cross Mill Street, expect that at the beginning of that street that will be barricaded off. We'll try to keep it to a minimum. The last time at the 5K, we kept it to just an hour. So that's our goal. The goal is to keep it to just that period of time necessary for the transit of the Halloween parade. That will, and then we will open it back up. Along with that same point is that we posted already the Mill Street corridor. We need to have vehicles removed. I believe it's by noon on the 18th. All vehicles removed on the Mill Street corridor between Ford Street and down to 4th Street for the parade route to make it safer and cleaner. We will do some additional notifications. I'll be talking with Mr. Truman about that, just to press this home with everyone. What we expect is to keep that corridor, except for Mill Street, pretty much open. We will have Ford Street, so Ford Street will be closed during the course of it, and probably the best time is probably about 45 minutes for the parade route. And I don't know if, Madam President, if you have anything else in that as far as time frame and the amount of floats that you have.
No, I do just want to thank everyone. I know it's an inconvenience to move your cars, but we really thank you for supporting the community, and appreciate that it's some the inconvenience and that you're accommodating. So definitely sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you for helping us out for the little bit of time. And as Chief said, we're going to try to make it as short as possible, but as fun as possible. Thank you, Chief, for ensuring all of our safety and making sure that it goes smoothly.
My pleasure. So I've got some really good staff that are working on this. Sergeant Murphy's in charge of this one. It's very well planned out. On the 25th of October, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., there's a drug take-back. It's Nightmare on Pill Street. To coincide with the creepy Bridgeport, Borough, and Beauport.
I'll put it on the website.
So 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's enough for today.
I gotta say, this year's drug take-back poster is probably one of my favorites. I don't know who in the county does them, but I appreciate their work.
It is excellent. Thank
you, Chief. I know we'll come back to the mayor's report in a bit. Let's just try to finish up the rest of it, and we can move on to new business. Are there any items of new business? All right, open for announcements. Are there any announcements this evening?
I would just like to thank all of our sponsors, all of our volunteers, all of our runners from our October 4th, 2025 Bridgeport 5K. We will have final numbers in terms of and public recognition and presentation for our beneficiaries, the Upper Marion Community Cupboard, and the Bridgeport Fire Department at a future meeting. But it was, again, a successful event. 197 total registrants, which breaks our all-time record that we sent last year, which was 163. Chief Beretta, Sergeant Flora, and Dave Lang, along with the rest of our Public Works and Sewer team, did an exemplary job of making sure our logistics flowed smoothly, along with the volunteer firefighters and auxiliary fire police, did an exemplary job of protecting the streets, keeping everything safe and smooth. Congratulations to Caitlin Lutz and, Noah Alansky, I believe his name was. Drew Alansky, of Bridgeport. They are the fastest man and woman and will be honored at an upcoming meeting. And we're going to be able to cut 2 nice checks to 2 great beneficiaries. And again, thank you, everybody involved. And I know that President Al-Zayed mentioned the Fall Festival on Sunday. I just want to thank her for her efforts in pulling that off, along with all the other volunteers. But more importantly, I want to thank her for saving the life of a bunny rabbit on Sunday. I get a call from I had left shortly before Orlando and Saba did, and I get a call from them saying, "Hey, did the magician leave yet?" Yeah, they did. And the magician left his bunny rabbit behind by mistake. And believe me, he was very, very embarrassed and distraught when he heard that. He loves Spot very much.
Spot was probably already traumatized from the 1,000 children that had fed him beforehand with Cheetos.
It was all part of the act.
So thank you for, he actually did make the rabbit disappear. He realized about 5 minutes after leaving the Public Works garage. So thank you for that, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right. Do we have any additional announcements this evening? All right, we can move on to public comment. Any members of the public wish to comment this evening? All right, we can certainly.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
We
adjourn.
are 9:48 and we are adjourned.
Don't mind us, we're just hungry.